Yo, so the opinions and views expressed in this podcast are that of our own and the Future Bachelor podcast only, and not affiliated with any outside party or entity or anything like that. This fun podcast, though, may include some adult language.
Future Bachelor Podcast. You motherfucker really need it cooler.
Yeah, welcome to Future Bachelor. My name is Sai.
I'm Veronica.
And this is episode 84. A special Halloween edition of the episode. It's going to be you got to do the
Spooky.
Yeah. It's so good at it. Yeah, man. So we had to start off with that song, we were thinking of Halloween songs. Last year we did Thriller.
And now we can't.
Yeah, this one is Monster. You don't want to do Thriller again.
Because
so.
for multiple
There was
reasons.
a time where we could do Thriller again, but no, we just did Michael last. It was Smooth Criminal a couple episodes ago. So, but how are you doing, V? What's going on in your life?
Living, thriving, fully.
I feel like a lot has happened in the last week.
Yeah.
For you. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
Where do we start?
Where do we start? So we'll start on my Friday night.
Okay.
So I went to a live podcast show, Girls Gotta Eat.
Me and you have gone before?
Yes, we went. That was like their second ever live show.
Wow,
the one that
okay.
we went to. And
so it's really grown.
Yeah, so it's really grown. So which is like a nice little aspirational thing for us. Obviously,
For sure.
They come from like influencer backgrounds. Like one of them used to be a food blogger influencer, and then one of them's like a comedian, and also like she started a bunch of different like meme accounts. Mm-hmm. So we don't have like that on our side per se, but we've got our tenacity and our talent
and hours and hours of Future Bachelor content for you to consume.
And some connections.
You know what though? It's like I feel like when the time is right, we'll pull the trigger on something.
Off,
you know what I'm saying?
We'll pop off.
I'm not in any rush. I'm kind of enjoying like what we got going on.
Yeah.
And
we don't want to get too big too fast.
Yeah, exactly. But one day, we'll see what happens.
Anywho.
Yep.
Went to their live show with, number one compadre, C Money.
Shout out to C Money.
Yes. Biggest shout outs.
Yeah.
I kind of put her on to GGE, and then she came in from Jacksonville. She actually stayed at the same hotel as the Girls Gotta Eat girls, and she saw them in the lobby when she was checking in.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So that was kind of funny.
That's cool.
So we went to Girls Gotta Eat show, and like people who listen to their podcast, it's like a dating, sex, relationship podcast. And they do some of their segments on there, but then like their live shows, they do some different segments, and like they make it more interactive, and they bring people up on stage, and like you could submit stuff for the show, and then like they like go through somebody's Bumble matches. That was the end of it.
Oh wow,
which is dope. Like we're on Bumble now, because I haven't been.
This is just like bullshit content. They're just like making money off of.
But it's fun.
It's definitely fun. I could see it, but it's just interesting. They're like, yeah, we'll just grab someone's Bumble, and that'll be like a half an hour.
Well, they were like FaceTiming.
Like how much were the tickets?
Like $30.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, and we were on the floor, like, and it was in a corner. What is it? Is it called Center? I think it's Center Stage. Yeah,
okay.
Center Stage here in Atlanta, which is like 900 people in there.
Mm-hmm.
But which I've seen Hoodie Allen there. Fun fact.
Nice.
Woo! But anyway, so like they do different fun segments. Like they were on Bumble now, you could like FaceTime people.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they were like FaceTime different people that this girl had matched with, and only one of them answered.
Oh my God, why would you call somebody on Bumble?
I don't know.
You might as well just put your phone number on there. What the hell?
Right? Anyways.
Yeah.
So wild.
Our main topic, should they put FaceTime on Bumble? No, I'm joking.
But so one of their sections, like they brought up that they had been joking around at one of their previous shows about like people who have like little black books or like sex lists or whatever. And like there were some girls at a previous show who were like, oh my God, like I definitely have like one of those kinds of lists on my phone. But they were like, okay, we want to see if there's any of you girls out here that have, or guys, because there's guys there, that have that kind of list on your phone. But they're like, we don't want just fucking names. We want like details. And I was like, fuck, I have one of those.
Oh man.
And so like, which one? It was actually from more like when I first started dating in Atlanta, because I was like going on a bunch of dates, and it was more to like keep track of like who I was dating and what I liked or didn't like about them, or like where a relationship was going or wasn't going. And I have like some screenshots in there from like some texts and things like that. But then it also like, has like
the black FBI.
Book. It has like the black book like part of it as well. But so like I was one of the people that they pulled up there, and so they were like scrolling through my phone, scrolling through that list, being like, oh my God, you take such detailed notes. And I was like, I was a journalist.
Okay.
And so, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun because like I feel like they kind of like got me off the stage because I kind of started like vibing with the crowd a little bit, because they would like put the microphone back. They would be like, ask me a question. I kind of come back with like I'm a yes-ander, you know, like I understand how comedy works. And I think also the fact that like I do a podcast and I understand how to like carry conversation, and I understand how to like create like audio kind of content.
Right.
I kind of was like vibing.
Yeah.
And
you're upstaging them.
Yeah. Then they're like, okay, let's go on to the next person.
Oh man.
But
haters. Yeah, that was.
Sai's mad at me because
No, wait. Let me tell my story. So I'm like, having fellowship with the guys over at Chef John Mark's. We're doing dinner and everything, and I start getting like random DMs from people.
Okay, you act like you got like a bajillion.
I got random DMs. That's multiple. So that's. I'm not saying anything. I'm not lying. Random DMs, and people are like, "Hey, I think your podcast host is on stage right now." And then the next one was like telling her sex list. I'm like, "Oh my God, I believe it," And I'm like, the first thing I'm thinking about is like, does she shout out the podcast on stage? Because like, I'm thinking this is the best room to like get, a whole bunch of girls from Atlanta to be listening to the podcast, or even just like to send one my way, Veronica. Jeez.
I know.
But
there's a couple cuties around me, but they were like.
Well, I mean, so we got a whole episode out of the last one. Last time we went to that show, it was that girl that gave the invalid number one.
Invalid number.
Go back and listen to that one.
That was the title of the episode, wasn't it? Like
I think it was
like,
invalid number.
Something like that.
Yeah. So so what happened? So like eventually. We meet up at Little Spirit, like the bar we usually meet up at. And I was like, did you promote the podcast? I already knew the answer because I'd asked the kid that DM'd me about it. And I mean, what happened? It
just like, I honestly, hindsight's 2020. And I really wish I only have one. Well, now I don't, because I gave it to this girl who might be my potential roommate. I had one sticker left, one Future Bachelor sticker. And I really wish I just had brought it or worn it or whatever, because they would have been like, because they would have
asked about it if it was on your shirt. That's genius.
Because it compliments.
But now
my outfit. I
know.
I know, and I wish, and I like kind of honestly was sitting up there as like we were doing different stuff. I did kind of think about it. I was like, okay, could I slide in like a mention? But it just like how it worked out with like me getting up and getting off and like the stage and whatever. It's just like I was like, ugh, like it just like.
I get everything you're saying, and honestly, like I don't know why, but the next day I was like, God, like, because I don't care, like I'm shameless like that. Where I just did the radio show game show thing that we played.
Like, and I'm gonna be promoting us there.
I know, because now you know. But
well, no, I knew I was gonna do that already. Like,
regardless, anytime we have an audience, we need to be shouting out Future Bachelor. That's what we do. But with that being said, today you were like, they would have roasted me savagely roasted me out. Those girls are pretty savage. Like I've heard them talk. I've seen them like get mad at the audience for like talking too loud or anything like that. Like it's so if like you promoted a podcast, I could see them being like, bitch, like, this is not your show, get out of here. So I can definitely see them trying to usher you off if like.
And I just wanted to enjoy the rest of the show because I was only like halfway in, not even. So
right.
I was just, but I'm doing my groundwork in other ways, so I feel you. Hopefully I'll make it up to you. But
it's you already do by doing this each week with me. So I'm just saying, like you said, hindsight 2020. I've done things like that where I get really mad at myself. I'm like, damn, missed opportunity. But sometimes, like, I don't know, it happens for a reason. Like, to me, I think it's pretty cool that like people even noticed you from the podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Whether it was 2 people or 100 people or whatever it was, like, people were like, recognizing you from this show. So
which was wild.
We're doing our job.
So I have people at work or whoever like be like, wait a second, don't you do that podcast? And
I feel like you get it a lot more than I do. I feel like every week you're like, someone was like, are you Veronica for the podcast? Oh, maybe it's like people that know me would do that to you. I had a couple of people do that to me that are your friends, and they'd be like, oh my God, are you Sai?
Yeah. Who was it? I actually had a friend. My friend Garrett, because I was just at his birthday party last night, and he said, because he asked me about the podcast, and he said he was at some party that you were at, and that like somebody was saying something about like Future Bachelor, like saw the stickers, people were wearing the stickers. I think it was like whatever Halloween party that you were at like last week or something.
Oh wow.
And he was like, he was like, wait, I know that bitch that does that, because he was talking about me. And then like, oh well, Side's over here too, like he's the other half of it. And, like,
oh crap, damn, that's so cool.
So yeah, it's random like
well
that.
Yeah, shout out to everybody that listens, and everyone that will one day hear us get on stage and tell you to listen. But until then, here you are, future bachelor, back off the stage, fresh off the stage. What else happened that weekend? PG ended up going out with you guys.
Yeah, he went out with us. We ended the night at Dark Horse because like C Money didn't like. She hadn't had like when she lived in Atlanta, she didn't get to do like a ton of stuff when she was here because she lived a little bit more up north.
I remember those days.
I brought her to Dark Horse. We went to Cookout. We had a good time. It was a great way to end the night. After being at the show and then meeting up with you guys at Little Spirit. And we were at Beetle Cat for a bit before that too, and that was fun.
Did you go to any Halloween parties on Saturday night?
Saturday I went to a little Halloween party at my friend Anne Marie's. Super chill. I'll probably be posting my pics. I was very niche costume for all of anybody who's traveled through the Atlanta airport. I am the rainforest ceiling.
Yeah, it looked pretty good.
Between terminals A and B, and I always the joke is that I always take a picture of it for my Instagram story, so I did like a little thing with like the Instagram location tag on me.
Yeah.
So it's an easy costume because it's a giant shirt that I just painted and put stuff on, and then I got to just wear thigh-high boots with it. So it's like for the lazy slut in your life.
Yeah.
I
ended up going, as last week I said, as the bachelor.
Yeah.
To my Halloween party, and it was like a long day because like I had to DJ at a hospital like during the afternoon, which they had like free drinks and stuff at, so I was already kind of drinking. But I ended up going to this Halloween party dressed as the bachelor, and I had gotten 24 roses, and it was just like I put it in a vase. Yeah, I saw that,
like your little vase.
Yeah, so it was good. I think it worked out good. I was giving it out to like a bunch of my friends and stuff. There's just like 24 of them. Actually, there's a lot of roses. So I'm just like, here, you want one? Here, you want one? Will you accept this rose? I was just going up to random like girls in like relationships, and she's talking to her boyfriend. I'm just like, excuse me 1 second. Would you accept this rose? She's like, oh, and this guy just look at me like, dude, what? I'm just like, go back to beer pong. It was awesome. So, but yeah, I had a good time being the bachelor that night. So, it was a good weekend. I mean, I feel like we got a lot of things accomplished. That was kind of like my official Halloween because I'll be getting out of here, taking a plane and stuff. But in the meantime, we might as well take a plane.
We might as well take our own plane.
The quick hits.
Ooh.
What do we got for quick hits?
With that like little hiss at the end.
Quick hits.
Okay, so Kylie, kicked off her internet queenness last week with the whole rise and shine. Yeah. But then Stormy really is the star of the show. Mm-hmm. So Stormy, she was big this week for. She had a picture of her in her Halloween costume, which in true Kylie Jenner fashion, Kylie dressed her up as Kylie from the Met Gala. So purple wig, long see-through-ish dress with the purple feather sleeve thing. And I was like, you're a little not even 2-year-old baby. You are dressing her up like you. It was adorable. Stormy is it's kind of unfair how cute Stormy is. I kind of wish she wasn't so cute, but she's so cute. I'm like, oh, this isn't fair. I wanted her to be punished a little bit. I wanted Kylie to be punished a little bit for just being so laissez-faire.
I feel like she's gonna look more like Travis Scott.
I mean, yeah.
Because she won't be able to look like Kylie because that's not natural. That's the whole problem with this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Poor kid. She's like, mommy. Mommy,
how come I don't have lips like you?
But yeah, we'll get into more Halloween stuff later on.
But yeah,
in the show. But what is Selena Gomez deleting her IG stories?
Oh, so yeah, so Selena Gomez posted an IG story, kind of as an ad / whatever for Skims, which is Kim's shapewear company, Kim Kardashian's.
Yeah.
And
that's a way better name than kimono.
Yeah, for so many reasons.
Skims? That's great.
It's great. It's perfect. You want it to skim, like you want the fabric of your clothes that you're wearing.
Dude, these marketing people are geniuses. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Like how hard it is to come up with a name like that. Skims is
and her name's Kim. It all works out. It's perfect. It's what she wanted. It's great. And actually, I feel like I've watched videos that her stuff's supposed to actually be very good. But anyways, she, posted something being all like, wow, Skims are so comfortable. Like, I love them, whatever. But then she immediately took it down because, like, Selena Gomez's bestie is Taylor Swift. Mm-hmm. And, like, we all know, we've went over it before, the never-ending, like, the beef that won't be put to bed between Taylor and, Kanye Kim situation just because of, like, all the old stuff from the video, like from them doing the whole like recording saying like
just getting up on stage and being like Beyonce had the best. Sorry, Taylor Swift, but Beyonce.
Yeah, so just like, we all know that beef will literally not go to bed. It hasn't gone to bed. Even Kanye and his, new whatever. Mm-hmm. So Selena immediately took it down and then posted like this whole like lovey-dovey bestie appreciation post to her Instagram story being all like, this is my ride and die, like a picture of her and Taylor being like, this is my ride and die, she stayed with me through everything, like, and now with my new song, blah 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 blah, like whatever, like she's helped, like, and I was like, okay, this is obviously like, I feel like Selena's like, okay, I'm putting out a new song, I really don't need to be like getting like the wrong kind of like attention right now, like I wanted to be about my music. Maybe this is like my thought process, because like I feel like it's like a very like she's forward pedaling by immediately like putting up a thing about like
right super reactive
like for Taylor being all like like I'm still on Taylor's side, like Team Taylor, but I'm kind of like can't you enjoy good products no matter?
No. I mean, to me, it's kind of crazy, but
like, okay, like let's say like
that's what you get for posting. Like,
if your best friend like started to like, let's say you had like an enemy who, I don't know, like let's say musically you had a music enemy, and your friend like posted a story.
Well, this is a whole different thing, I think, because like they have like millions of fans. Like, you know what I'm saying? With this, it would just be like like people I guess, which kind of equates, but in a way, it's weirdly, but. That's the thing, though. Like, I don't think I'd feel any better afterwards. Like, I don't know. It would just look like stupid. Like, what I'm saying? It would almost make it look like I asked her to do that or something.
I know. That's kind of what it looked. That's kind of what it looked like to me, honestly. Right. It looked like forced. Like, it was like, this is my ride and die. Like, it was
I was there for you. Take that post down. Put one up of me. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's ridiculous.
I could totally see Taylor Swift doing that.
Yeah,
kind of
for
shit.
sure.
She'd be like, hey girl,
But that's the thing. I would hate it if the Taylor didn't ask for any of that and it made it seem like she did. You know what I'm saying? So that's the problem with the post.
So who's to say? Yeah. Who is to say?
Let's see. Some more pop star news. What do we got here?
So Nicholas Jonas,
also known as Nick Jonas.
Also known as the love of my life that will never be.
Okay.
He they were performing. I think they just finished like their North American leg of the tour, but they were performing at Hollywood Bowl, and they're on like a little like catwalk situation where like there's a bunch of fans like around, and they're performing the song Only Human, and there's some fan, because like how close, how like fans get, like they're like and like with their hands and like and like trying to like touch, like usually like they can only like maybe touch like, I don't know, like your ankle, if like depending on how the catwalk was, but I guess this catwalk was kind of lowered, and like this bitch was like rubbing her hand right up like right up Nick's like inner thigh, and like the security's
trying
like,
to touch his bird and feathers.
Pretty much. And like
we go together. Sorry, that was a bad.
I'm a sucker. Okay, girl.
Okay.
But the security like was batting her hand away, but like it was hard because of like, and like Nick was trying to too, but like also trying to perform. He's like, it's only you.
So you see this girl just like swatting his ooh, like a magic trick.
This is a time this is a time, if you watch us on YouTube, this is a great time because we're doing some weird shit. But Yeah, like, I mean, but like because of how she was located, like on the other side of the catwalk and where they were located and like whatever, it was kind of hard. But like, I mean, like Twitter is going off. They're like, bitch, like that's so disrespectful. You can't
Sexual harassment.
That's sexual harassment. Like
Yeah.
you can't be fucking groping somebody. Like you just can't be doing that. Which like, I'm happy that, you know, because I feel like usually you only hear about this happening to women, but obviously it happens to men as well.
I feel like it would happen. It's been happening to men probably more than the women at those
Honestly, I mean,
concerts.
yeah, but it's great to like see also.
But most of the time, guys have been wanting that. Like, we're living in a world right now where, like, remember back in the day, like, everybody would, like, bring a chair out and, like, sit a girl down and hump her and stuff like that. Like, every, like...
What?
You never seen a show like that?
Like,
Usher,
okay,
like,
yes.
everybody.
Something like that. Okay, I was kind of like, what?
What, are you thinking here in my living room?
Yeah, I kind of...
No, that hasn't happened in a long time, V. Thanks for reminding me. Anyways, we're living in a time right now where you can't really do that. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, first of all, you'd have to make sure that you'd have to, like, check the girl's ID.
Everybody has to be consenting.
Well, not just consent, but, like, you have to make sure that they're not, like, underage. Like, so you'd be like, all right, can I check your ID real quick?
Like, half the Usher and those kind of old songs are like talking about that kind of shit.
Well,
like, check the ID.
But anyways,
Let me see your ID.
I feel like Usher has been a
Are
big
you
topic
18?
lately on our show. I don't
just
know why.
like, but by it, you know, like just by
Just
I
passing. But yeah, no. Well, you know, maybe he should get those like electric pants or something where
Oh,
they're like,
yeah.
zzz, you know. So
like a little electric fans but for the
yeah,
for
for
like,
his thighs.
oh,
But yeah, so you guess who's back?
back again.
Kanye West, aka
Tell a friend.
Yeezy, aka Ye, aka Yandi, aka Jesus is King.
Yeah, he finally released his album that he missed 2 like release dates for.
Yeah.
He did it. What
Well,
are your vibes on it?
I mean, we were waiting on Yandi, and
Oh yeah, I mean, but Yandi's ringtones, we talked about that.
yeah, but Yandi never, because like Kanye's not about the old life anymore, apparently. Which, you know, I don't want to. If someone decides one day they want to become religious,
Or like become closer to their faith or whatever.
like
that's like fine and dandy.
I don't want to hate on anybody for
I'm
doing
not hating
that.
on that.
One day you could realize, and you just like throw everything into it.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
you know what I'm saying? You sent me the meme the other day.
Yeah.
What was it?
It said this time last year, Kanye was saying like, "You're such a fucking hoe. I love it." This time,
I think it was like I don't even want to
this
say
time
that. but-
this year. I like whatever. I like a quick fuck, whatever. That.
Yeah.
And then this year, it's all like I don't want people to be having premarital sex. Like,
Yeah,
whatever.
this year Jesus is king.
Yeah.
I mean that's the problem with it. It's just like, you know, my problem with it is if like you revert back to like the old stuff. It's just like this is all just like a stunt, you know.
It just like, and I don't know, and it's just like he's back on his bullshit, you know, saying that he's like the best. He had that whole interview where he was all like, "I'm the best, you know, artist alive."
Did you listen to it?
I didn't listen to all of it. No,
It's good.
I read it.
It's good.
I need to.
I mean, like the music is good. The choir is good. Like the music, I like it.
Or listen to the whole album. I listened to the whole album.
I
I'm
liked
talking about
it.
the interview.
No. The album. You know, so
I liked
liked
it. I didn't hate it. I feel like the beat, I feel like the beats and everything, the choir and all that's good. I feel like lyrically,
No, the lyrics aren't there.
no.
And like honestly, his rapping is kind of trash.
Yeah.
But like.
The production
And the
value's
message, you
there.
know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, if you're not really religious, it's kind of just like, ugh. But if you like can get past all that stuff and just listen
I
musically
don't
to
even
like,
think it's that religious, TBH, but
well, I mean, every song is titled something or like
Yeah.
religious based, and every song is referenced to religion.
yeah.
So
But, like-
yeah,
well, like, the
it's not
actu-
like a gospel album or anything,
No,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
the whole thing is themed towards
Yeah.
his relationship with Christ. So, you know, I didn't want to like it, but like the second time I listened to it, I was bobbing. I was working on music, and I was like, okay, this is good actually. Like I was not like wanting to skip a
Yeah.
song and all that stuff.
I had like
so.
one song that I feel like was a standout, but like I feel like I was bobbing along more to the beat than anything. Which I mean, we all know Kanye is an incredible producer. Like he's changed the game.
The most thing I was impressed with this last week of Kanye was the James Corden they did carpool karaoke with him,
I didn't
except
see
they
that.
did it on his airplane with his whole gospel choir.
Oh my God.
So instead of playing music in a car, he was on an airplane with Kanye and his like hundreds of like gospel people, and all the gospel people were doing the music.
No,
So
that's fun.
it was awesome.
That's pretty cool.
And they're doing like Jesus Walks, like
I
old
hope he's
songs
paying
and
those
stuff.
people well.
I'm sure he is. I mean, it's all going into it. He's making
well.
money like doing the Sunday services and stuff.
Yeah,
So
I had friends who had a couple of them. And then he's being ambitious again, which I don't know if we can believe this, that he'll have his Jesus is Born album, like a Christmas album, to come out on Christmas, but who's to say? And then my biggest thing with this is that he was asking his different collaborators and things like that to refrain from having premarital sex while working on the album.
Mm-hmm.
I found that, I don't know, like for me personally, that seemed like kind of like an unfair ask, especially like coming from Kanye.
Well,
like
to
especially
me,
like back to like the whole Kim situation, like where it's like where Kim like said like, yo, like you're on this journey and you're at this point, but like I'm not there. I don't know like if that's super fair to like ask other people.
No, it's not fair to ask. Of course not. But I'm just saying like it's that's the way like, he's choosing to run with the religion is like to go like full on, like the rules and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
like, today in religion and stuff, like I feel like there has to, and it's weird too, because he's the one talking about like, he's innovating religion, what I'm saying? That's
No,
what he
he's
like,
saying-
what he's trying to say. And then like, on top of that though, like religion is needing to like have a facelift. That's why you see all these like non-denominational like churches and big like mega churches where it's like hipsters running it, like that are your pastors, not hipsters, but like, like,
but they still have backwards, like they still like a lot of them still like do very traditional thought. They just dress it up in like hipstery sayings.
No, nowadays, like even like the Catholic Church are trying to accept like things like homosexuality and stuff
Pope
like
Frankie
that.
said that the gays are cool. So.
But I mean, regardless, like those are things that just need to change with the times and stuff like that. And like the premarital sex thing is like one of those like kind of like rules in the church that who is Kanye to ask that of anybody? Like first, that's not where you start with like trying to convert people over to believing in religion and any type of religion. Like starting with rules.
Yeah, starting with like restricting people.
Yeah, or like also just like that's not even a rule. That's like that is literally like you have sex, I'll fire you. Like it's like what, whatever, dude.
Like yeah, like.
So I'm saying like I see him like at the beginning stages of like either being one of those like pastors that like you see on TV and stuff, or like starting his own cult or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like that's like what it's looking like. It's like, dude, come on.
Culty AF. It's just interesting.
To me, I think it's going to be very interesting to see like what happens with him and Kim Kardashian, because like they are definitely on two different paths right now.
I don't know if Kim's really on board for a lot of this.
Well, I'm just saying, like, how do you live one way and then have like Kim Kardashian has to be now a nun like for you or whatever?
She won't.
Yeah, that can't happen.
She won't. Like she won't do it.
I mean, at this point, she could like step back from being like, but she's not gonna.
I mean, she's stepped back a decent amount. Like she doesn't.
Oh
even,
yeah,
like
but
because
still
she's like
though,
doing her like. I mean, like I feel like her focus, like she's like really focusing on her stuff, like her lawyer stuff, and she wants to pass the bar and like all that jazz. And then like her focus with that is like she really wants to help people, who are wrongly imprisoned and do that kind of stuff. So I feel like that's her path, which this is crazy. I don't think if like I looked at like past me, I don't know if I'd ever be like, I'm totally like Team Kim on this. Like I don't know if I would ever be like, go Kim.
No,
Kim.
I just think it's gonna be cool to watch. What happens next with them. Because in that interview with James Corden, he was like, like he was comparing marriage to like dog years, and he was like, how like 10 years for like every dog year or something like that. He was like, in marriage it's like 100 years. I'm like, ooh, that doesn't really sound that good. Like
No.
like marriage sounds like 100 years for every year. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like it's gonna, we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, that seems like a ticking time bomb. Let's skip ahead to some Chancellor, another
Yeah, he was
Chicago rapper.
on SNL this past weekend. I watched it. He hosted and performed.
Yeah.
Did you get to watch it?
I watch clips. I watch his performance.
He's not a good actor.
No, because he breaks character.
Well, he's just not a good actor, and
He's good. When he was on past episodes, I was like, and he would be in skits. Like I feel like the more musical themed skits he was good in. But
I always thought it was weird that they had him host the show, and then like I think they had Drake or something like that as the musical artist. Which
this is his first time doing double duty.
Yeah, I mean Drake has even done double duty, so I don't know why a rapper would ever host the show and not be the performing artist.
Drake's episode is one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah, but he's an actor, so
I mean, yeah.
I mean, there was some funny.
Jimmy.
There was some funny skits or whatever, but he wasn't that great. And then his performances were, all right. I mean,
I loved the one where he brought where it was the thing with his daughter singing and everything.
Yeah, I think that was the first.
That was my favorite.
But yeah, that was good. I mean, he was rapping like ridiculously fast, where it almost like it was hard for him to keep up with one of the beats. He had some cool dancers, and he put on a show.
Yeah.
All in all, I wouldn't say it was one of my favorite episodes of SNL in a while, but I usually watch every week. So
I liked his monologue a lot, though, as a Chicago.
Actually, yeah, no, that was the best part of the show was his monologue because he did this whole I like the second best of things.
Because
they call it the second city.
Chicago's called the second city.
Yeah.
And they even have the second city, which is a comedy thing, which is where most comedians like Tina Fey, pretty much most people that have been on SNL started in Second City. But anyway, so his whole monologue was it was like a rap where he was talking about he's like, I like the second best better than the first, and he was talking about Bing over Google.
My favorite one was growing up, my favorite teen sitcom wasn't Saved by the Bell. It was California Dreams.
When I heard it, I was like, Saya's probably out there cackling.
Dude, I love California Dreams. Not only because it was literally so much better than. I mean, I love Saved by the Bell. Don't get me wrong, that was the classic. But California Dreams was that, but it also had them be in a band. So they were in a band and stuff.
In your bag for sure.
Well, I mean, Saved by the Bell had a couple episodes where they had Zack Attack and they were all band members and stuff like that. But this was literally based around musicians and stuff. It was cool. But don't get me down to California Dreams. And they also had one of the best theme songs ever. Arguably way better than most sitcoms back then too. So, but don't get me on the California Dreams train right now. Shout out to all my people out there, that know about California Dreams,
But yeah, Chance, and also the cool part about it was that he was wearing a Chicago Teachers Union sweatshirt, and so most people who listen to this probably don't have no idea about this, but I actually have friends who work in the city of Chicago as teachers. They've been on strike for a while for better wages and to be unionized and for a lot of different things. So it was really cool. I mean, he's done a lot for he goes hard for the city, and that's something I respect. Do I think he's the best rapper ever? No, but I think he's one of the best.
Yeah, and he was also saying that the last time he was on SNL, he donated $1 million to Chicago schools and stuff like that.
He's done so much. He's just. I feel he's such a good person for his community. He really loves to give back. But.
Yeah.
Let's do a little.
What made you go yikes this week? Something that was yikes. Oh.
Okay.
Yikes.
Yikes. Okay. So I had let's do my scary yikes.
Okay, yikes. Okay. I always give my different yikes.
Okay, so
I'm oh, you mean I'm just joking. All right.
So if I haven't already made it clear on this podcast that I don't really like gender reveal parties because I think they're stupid.
Yeah.
And they're unnecessary.
Right.
And gender's a construct. Well,
you're just adding too much to the whole baby process.
It's so much.
Yeah.
It's so much. Why do we have to have 5 fucking parties?
It's usually for the first one. I don't know. Maybe the second one.
It wasn't a thing back in the day. Let's be real about this. It wasn't
I think
until,
the person who had the first one ever is I never meant for it to do this.
Once
whole thing.
Instagram started to become bigger, I think that's when all this shit started.
Yeah, I think
we'll
talk.
Let me get a boomerang.
yeah, I know. All right, we're gonna set off a nuclear bomb, and if it's blue or pink smoke left all over the country,
and so because of that, people, get really into doing the whole smoke bombs, confetti bombs, whatever, with the pink or blue smoke. And so this situation, they kind of made their own, I guess. They kind of DIY'd it, which is bad idea.
Yeah.
Unless you're some sort of engineer, bad idea.
Yeah, homegrown terrorists making your own little bomb.
And it acted like a little bomb. It didn't go off the right way, so it exploded, and a piece of shrapnel hit this woman in the head and killed her. She died.
So are they going to be charged for murder?
I don't know.
Hold on, you don't know? You can't just tell us she died and not know the follow-up. Like, someone has to be to blame, right?
I don't know.
Or a freak accident. Like, I don't think you can make an explosion and then kill somebody and then, like, be like, oops, it was an accident. Like, can you?
Oof. I guess, no, I guess, yeah, somebody's probably going to get charged. I don't know how that works, though.
I mean, I don't know if they'll see jail time.
I don't know.
No, manslaughter is accidental.
Yeah,
well,
true.
not necessarily, but
okay.
But
anyways,
essentially, yeah, someone's getting in trouble.
And like this isn't like, I guess there's other situations where things like, you know, where gender reveals had gone wrong. Where,
well,
like,
you've seen the one that went viral a couple weeks ago, where like the guy's trying, like this Jack dude's trying to like beat the balloon, and eventually like the balloon like gets like let off in the air, and that like. You know, that usually has the information. Like, somebody might not know. Like, you might have given it to your baker or the balloon person, and they don't even know. Yeah, it's like
always like the doctor told whoever, whatever. But
and he tries to jump the fence, and he doesn't even get to jump the fence.
Yeah,
I love watching those, dude. I love watching those.
Well, I guess like other ones in like the past couple of years have like started wildfires because like of how they like did them, and like it's just too much. Like,
too much.
Stop with the gender reveals.
You know what I like? I like watching like fails of those type of like things. Like, you know, like the thing I hate the most about weddings. I love weddings. But like the thing I hate the most, I'll tell you what, that makes me just like cringe and roll my eyes.
Cringy.
There's a couple things that happen, but it's like it's the entrance of the wedding when they make everybody dance. It's the cringiest part of the whole wedding. Like everyone has to be like,
when it's like the wedding party, like into the like
yeah,
the
it's always like some Chris Brown song or something or something.
Like maid of honor and like best man, whatever, and then they always like try to do like a funny skit, like they like will maybe do like a leapfrog thing.
Oh my god, I love seeing the videos where like the bride like tries to do some like dirty dancing thing or something like that, and then they just drop her or something or get kicked in the face or something. Those are my favorite. But yeah, guys, if I'm telling you right now, I will not have that at my wedding. And if you have that at your wedding, like there's got to be a better way to have everyone walk in.
Just let them walk in. Just let them walk in. They don't have to do anything cute.
Yeah. Let's do something. Just got to do a dance, and it's always like some stupid dance or someone tries to do the worm.
Well, it's always like just a little thing because you're literally like walking like however many like feet in. So it's like
it's embarrassing. I'll do it if it's asked of me, but I don't want to do it. But anyways, what else made you go yikes?
So
Oh, I like this one.
I know you do. But so there was, one of the Game 5 of the World Series that's happening right now between the Washington Nationals and the Houston Astros. Mm-hmm. These like Instagram influencers and it's called Shag Mag, which is like, for lack of better words, it's a titty mag, pretty much. I think they're like trying to be like how Playboy revamped themselves, but they're not. But anyways, their names Julia Rose and Lauren Summer were right behind home plate.
Julia's a hot name, by the way. I don't know why. I just think it is.
Okay.
For a hot girl, I don't know.
Okay. Anywho, they're wearing their yellow Shag Mag t-shirts.
Maybe this one is more geared towards me and not so much you, because obviously I found this more exciting. But I watched a whole video on it go down, so let me explain a little bit. This girl is like a Instagram model, and she likes to show her boobies a lot. And I call them boobies because, like, I don't know, like breasts, I guess. But she shows her breasts a lot, and I don't know what to call it.
She has like a whole magazine that's like. It's like a titty mag is what it is.
I haven't seen the magazine or whatever, but essentially she was promoting that and like I guess breast cancer awareness.
That's bullshit.
But that's what so she had these shirts made that had like pink ribbons on them and stuff. And their plan and the thing is like to get to they bought like really expensive tickets right behind home base plate. So like they would be on the big Megatron and they'd be on TV and all that stuff. The thing
is like they would be in any camera view. The thing is like they're on a camera view for like a play. Like that's the thing. It's like you're right behind home plate. Like if there's like different plays happening and like different things that need to be like you need to see the play happening, like you're right there.
Right. And the crazy part is that they bought these really expensive tickets before even game 5, like before even game 4. So like whoever had to like win the game 4 to get to game 5 for them to actually pull this stunt off. But so they get there and they do it, you know what I'm saying? They flash, they get like, and security's on them right away. Like, I think security was on them even before they got there, thinking like, you got to like zip up your shirts or something like that. Like, I don't know. I'd be surprised, like, if like they must be highly like security right behind home plate because so many people must have tried this stuff like this before and probably will try to do all this stuff. So it's like, anyways, like they do it and they get pulled out by security. Eventually, like the owner of like the place, like, you know, bans them from MLB. Like, for life.
Like the vice president of all of MLB's like ballpark operations.
They delivered a letter to their house, like, or to like their Airbnb the next day.
Yeah, that they're banned from all like going to any game, any
events, any MLB events, anything for life, and which is worth it, but except on the video they cut off, like, it was 3 girls that actually did it. One guy was standing in front of one of the girls and then their faces got cut off, so all you really see is their boobs. And wow,
what a bummer.
Yeah, well, they wanted to, like, you know, they wanted the FaceTime, you know. So eventually the next day or two, like, they've been hit up like with a bunch of people, like Barstool interviews from like morning shows and all that stuff. So they still got their like promo worth of it, I think. But they say it's worth it. But, you know, at this, like, what do you think about it? What do you think about this? Like, I mean, they're just boobs, but in a sense though, like, they're boobs.
They're just boobs. I mean, it's like I guess so technically, like, the letter was saying how it went against policy because they were
promoting a business.
They were promoting a business,
yeah,
and behaving like against the rules of like no shirt, no shoes, no service.
Plus, I mean, that's like some FCC stuff, like, right? Like, TV. I mean, Janet Jackson will tell you right away.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that type of stuff on TV is like a huge fine. That was probably a huge fine for MLB. I'm surprised they didn't really get like jail time or some type of crazy fine.
Yeah, true.
And they were acting kind of like assholes afterwards when they got caught.
Well, yeah, of course they were. I feel like that. My thing is like, it's a ballsy move on their. I guess like that's ironic for me to say ballsy, but it's
all in all, they I mean, nothing really happened to them. Which, I mean, they got banned from MLB. The girl was like, I've never been to a baseball game before this, anyways. Yeah. Another one was like, I actually like baseball, so that sucks. But I mean, that does suck probably for her. Watch that be like I hope it was worth it, because like, watch her like future husband could have been like a baseball player. She can't go to any baseball game or event ever again.
Yeah, that's kind of shitty.
Especially if you're an influencer, like, you can't be banned from like one of the most popular sports.
So many influencers go to those games, and so many influencers end up like.
At least it was baseball.
Doing, like,
it wasn't like football or something.
Yeah,
basketball.
But I feel like baseball's even bigger with influencers, honestly.
True.
Sometimes because there's so many fucking games, so they could throw out a first.
I feel like those athletes are easier to get to.
So they could throw out a first pitch at one of them. That's the thing. More FaceTime. They could sing the 7th inning stretch. But I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like,
to me though, like, you know, maybe like it's a stunt, like that girl that put up the billboard for, you know, Tyler Perry. But the thing is, it's like, how many people actually know your name? And how many people actually know the stunt? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's what's getting lost in today's, like with people trying to do this stuff. Like
I feel like people, like, you know, the amount of people that are probably, you know, following her right now will happen. But like,
I mean, I followed her.
Of course. But she might disappear in your algorithm in a couple of weeks. You might not remember who the fuck she is soon.
Well, I feel like she definitely got a lot more guy. I mean, it probably worked for her or whatever like that. I mean, it's really hard for me to follow people, and I followed her just because, like,
it's not for you that hard to follow girls.
Oh, I'm just saying,
not
like,
hot girls. It's not that hard.
Well, they have to really impress me. Like, I held out on Megan Thee Stallion until this past episode where she was like dressed fly as hell with Chance the Rapper and stuff. Megan Thee Stallion. So I was like, all right, I'll follow you. You know what I'm saying? So it works, but like, I don't know, like, I didn't remember her name. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just know her, like, boobies, and that she did it for the MLB. But you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, is like, I don't know if like in 2 years I'll see her picture on my Instagram and be like, oh yeah, this is the girl. Like, I'll be like, who is this?
Yeah, like, who's to say like if it'll actually help her business?
Right. But
maybe right now
for the business that sounds like she has, it sounds like the best type of promo. So why don't we get into like a mini main topic, since it's our Halloween. So you know, we already talked about our costumes and stuff. I'm gonna give a little preface. Like, I'm a very creative person. I don't know why, when it comes to Halloween, I do not like to dress up. Like, I don't like to look stupid. I always like have to wear like something nice. Like last year I was a magician with you, and this year I'm the Bachelor. Suits.
I don't know if if I have any issue. Like, I don't know if I have any issue looking. I love any excuse to dress in a costume. Like, I loved going to theme parties in
And that's
college.
what I was going to say. I think there's three different types of people. People that like to dress up, people that like to celebrate Halloween but hate to dress up, and people that are just like, y'all are stupid.
Yeah. And like,
We're grown people here.
But I feel like dressing up is fun. Like, I don't think like it's like, I feel like not like I'm for me, like clothes is always something that's been like my form of like expressing myself. Like, that's my art, if you will. And I feel like in college I would dress up. We would call it like Hollow Weekend, because usually like it would be like the Thursday, Friday, Saturday you'd be doing stuff.
And you have
it's
a
like
different costume every day.
Yeah. I would have I would have maybe 2 costumes. One year when I was Miley Cyrus, I was Wrecking Ball Miley, and I was VMA's Miley, because that's like when that all happened. And then one year I was like Peter Pan one night and something else. One year I was like Mary Poppins one night, and then a Tooth Fairy one night.
I don't think I've ever gone all out for Halloween.
I love Halloween.
I've never like I don't think I've ever gone all out. Like, usually it's like I'm looking at my closet, I'm like, all right, what can I make like for like out of this?
I like
and maybe
to
like order one thing
I like
or something.
see, that's the thing, is like, yeah, I like to try. I mean, like all of my costumes, I kind of like, especially recently, I try to see like what I can make. I don't like to buy costumes really. I feel like all of my costumes from like, especially like maybe like even like even high school, because like one of my costumes in high school, I was the Mad Hatter, and like we sewed my costume. Like, we sewed the jacket.
You were that last year.
I wasn't I was the White Rabbit.
Oh,
different.
The Mad Hatter. Okay, so 2 different.
Yeah, 2 different Alice
But
Wonderland
okay, so this is the thing about Halloween now, though. What I can kind of like, what I hate about it. First of all, you get that costume, you can never wear it again. It's completely unbecoming. You know what I'm saying?
I know, it's funny because like I was a LaCroix can like a couple years ago, so I have that shirt. I hand painted a shirt, so similar to like what I did this year, but for the LaCroix one, it's much nicer looking because like I hand painted the logo and I made everything look like, you know, how like the different colors and stuff are on the LaCroix can. I still have that shirt.
I mean, that's a fly shirt to wear like somewhere else besides Halloween.
I know. I need to like kind of like style it up or something.
Yeah, like a beach shirt or something.
Yeah,
you know?
something like that.
But you know, so that's one thing I hate about it is like you never can be the same thing.
That's why
twice.
I try to make it out of stuff that I already own.
Right.
Like when I was Gwen Stefani last year, I had like little Dago tee, if you will. And
Are you talking about a wife beater?
And I cut it up, and I had like one of my bikinis, and I just covered it in like felt to look like, her little bikini with like the black and red crosses. And I think the most I bought for that was a wig, so I would have her hair. I had pants that worked. I had everything else that worked.
I don't do stuff with face paint. I don't do stuff with masks.
I usually don't do stuff with wigs. That was like the first wig I've bought.
I don't do stuff with wigs. So it's like I have to look good. You know what I'm saying? Because
wigs can look good. I looked good. I look great.
I'm talking about me. You know what I'm saying? That's not the same thing for a guy. Secondly, I also think it's like become so cheapened because like now with Amazon, you can literally buy any like costume for like $30. Like there's no even thought into it. Like the being creative side of it, that's like, if you're gonna do it, that's the way you do it. Like you paint it, you go and get this.
That's why I
hate like going to the store and getting the whole costume and like it's got to be kind of like organic.
I kind of like, that's why I like a lot of costumes that are maybe more creative or punny or super relevant, like if they're super pop culture relevant, or anything like that. So like, to me that like means a little bit more like.
See, the thing about that though is I put Chris D'Elia on here because I just watched him do this rant about like Halloween costumes. It was really around like those 2 points. It's like everyone wants to be Billie Eilish this year because Billie Eilish so.
That's why I tried,
pop culture or whatever.
Everybody wanted me to be a White Claw, but everybody was a White Claw, so I was refusing to be.
So
a White
he was
Claw.
like, he was mad because like you find like the most popular picture of Billie Eilish and like 4 people pick that same picture to draw their inspiration from, but she wears so many different outfits. Yet you go to the party, like PG was Bob Ross. Like
Bob Ross is a classic.
Exactly, but I saw so many Bob Rosses online this year. But like at the party, there was another Bob Ross, and it was so funny. It was like the token Bob Ross We're all like, he was all out. The other Bob Ross was on the couch just sitting, and PG's like dancing. We're like, yeah, we told that Bob Ross to sit down. You know, it's like, there can only be one Ross here. But yeah, you know, and then also he was like talking about like the whole, how do you feel about like girls just using it as an excuse to just like slut it up?
Like this Mean Girls line where it's all like,
just put some animal ears on and some
like
lingerie. Yeah.
My thing is like, you know, like I don't want to slut shame, and I'm like here for, you know, girls like being sexy and whatever, and like Halloween's definitely like the best hookup day of the year, but it's also the worst not walk of shame, because like walk of shame means that you should be shameful, but like, you know, worst like walk home or like get your ride home situation, because like you usually don't have something else, and so you're like in whatever costume,
right,
and it's like 10 a.m. the next day and you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
But I mean,
on Sunday you're dressed up like a little sexy devil.
I kind of more hate like the corporations that like you'll see like next to each other, you'll see like a cop costume, and then you'll see like sexy officer, like whatever, and it's like, why can't, like, what if I wanted to be like a hardworking cop? What if I would
right, that's what he was saying. He's like just be a cop, like, you know what I'm saying? Why do you have to like button up the buttons? Like, why do you have to show cleavage?
Because, and the thing is, like, it's not women's fault. That's usually like all they have to offer us. So it's like, why are they doing this to us? And so, or like this year, I think the funniest thing that I saw was you could be a sexy sold out chicken sandwich, i.e. like the Popeyes chicken sandwich.
Oh my God, that's too much.
And it's a little leotard with like, you know, with like off the shoulder sleeves, like so you could get a little bit of cleavage, and then it has like kind of like right across the crotch, because like you're supposed to be like the top and the bottom are like a bun.
Yeah.
And like there's like kind of ruffly stuff in the middle for like the lettuce and like the actual like
okay,
chicken.
I get it. Yep.
And like right across the crotch it says sold out, and I'm like,
oh my God.
I'm like, damn.
To me, I feel like there's nothing hotter than a hot girl like that's got all the assets and stuff to like do one of those sexy costumes. But like this year I saw this girl that I thought was like I think is really hot, and I'm like, all right, I wonder what she's gonna be, a sexy, like, you know, rabbit, a sexy cat or something like that. No, she was a Cheeto, not a sexy Cheeto, just a Cheeto, hot flavored Cheeto.
I love it.
And I was like, that's kind of hot, like, you know what I'm saying? She's so hot she doesn't care to like that's you know,
that's what I think like I'm usually,
it was a good Cheeto too, it was funny.
I'm like attracted to, you know, somebody who like is gonna like put in the effort, just like to, you know, they're just gonna lean in.
On the flip side, I hate that one person that has to have like the Heidi Klum of your group or whatever, that has to be like the one that outdoes everyone. Like, you know, there's this one guy in Orlando that every year he has to do something like major, and it's like always like prosthetics and like all like makeup. Like,
and if
three people are working on you,
and if like if you're not like a famous person like Heidi Klum, like throwing a big ass Halloween party, and like that's the gig, like I feel like like it looks it's a little crazy. It's like, okay, like if you're hanging out with like, if it's all theater folks hanging out having a theater Halloween party, like I expect all your fucking costumes to be impeccable. Like I don't expect your costumes to be half-assed, because like that would be, you know, ridiculous. But like if you're like the one person hanging out with like normal people who put in normal amounts of effort in their costumes, and you're like, you know, full ass, like, you know, fake nose, whatever, like it seems a little. There's
nothing worse than the guy though, or the girl that goes to the Halloween parties dressed normal. It's like, just stay home. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Honestly. And then I hate when their excuse is like, well, I just want to have fun. And I'm like, put on like literally, like you could do like a bare minimum costume. Like,
no, it's either you do it or you don't. Like you're the worst. Like, you know
just
what I'm saying?
do a bare minimum costume. Like you could literally make a costume, especially a lot of women or like guys who are good with makeup. You could do like, it's so easy. Like you could do like.
My go-to is a nerd.
Oh, see, easy, super easy. You could.
That's my go-to, easy.
That's so.
And I always have my Marty McFly outfit, which is ready to go.
It's easy to dress up as a nerd. It's easy to dress up as a goth. It's easy to like, you just put on like some more makeup.
The next promotion I get, like in my like job or whatever like that, I'm going all in on a full like a hardcore Marty McFly like costume, everything head to toe. And I'm never going to be anything different ever again. I might even buy the Doc Brown outfit just to give it to someone. That might be my switch up every year, is like picking someone else to be my Doc Brown.
So you'll have a couple's couple's but like you just fill in the blank for the couple.
I was like, would you be my Doc Brown this year? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's so ridiculous. But listen, I just thought of like a cool like a Halloween themed couples party where like, you know how we were talking about the hot cop and the not so hot cop? Like what if you did like couples like that where like one was like a hot version of like and the other one was not. You know what I'm saying?
Hot or not.
Yeah, hot or not party. That would be so funny.
That's awful.
But it'd be funny. Like you could come with friends too, but like you said, like what if I wanted to be the hardworking regular cop? And then you come with your friend and she's like the sexy cop. I think it'd be fun. But yeah, I don't know. And then, you know, talking about babies and stuff, like we were talking about Kylie and
like
everything.
it's just like I feel like
it's like another baby gender reveal thing.
I feel like I've seen a lot on social media this year, especially like, you know, these parents, because like people who are millennials like us are parents right now. So like they're, you know, they're on the social media, they're really vibing with it. So like a lot of them are parents to like young kids, and like they're dressing them up as like for Kylie, fucking dressing her up like herself in a little Met Gala costume, or like for a lot of like young black kids, I feel like I saw a lot of like them being dressed up as a Nipsey Hussle and stuff like that. And like these kids, like let these kids pick, like if they want to be like Paw Patrol, let them pick to be Paw Patrol. If they want to be like Spider-Man, let them pick to be Spider-Man. Like why are we like forcing these kids into like just being shit just so we could flex for the gram? Like I feel like that's like a little aggressive to me.
For sure.
Like they're like, I want to be Elsa, mom, and it's like, no, like you're gonna dress up like this, like,
Rihanna.
Like
so Rihanna can retweet us and we can get some followers. No, I mean I seen also what's it called, like, you know, what like the kids that have I forgot what I was gonna say, but like, you know, honestly, well, to me it's just like, yeah, you're right, like, you know, dressing your kids up to be that stuff, it's like, you know, there's no way these kids wanted to be Nipsey Hussle, like, you know. There's like,
I saw some of them dressed up as like whatever, like the main character, I think her name's Rue or whatever from Euphoria. Like dressed up like this young girl dressed up as that, like, you know, first of all, that little girl did not watch that show,
right?
Like, and her mom was like, okay, like I'm gonna put some sparkles under your eyes, you have to wear this like little outfit, and it's like, no, maybe she wanted to be a fucking princess.
Well, I remember what I was gonna say.
Who's to say?
The pictures, you know what I'm saying? I guess, you know, the pictures is what these moms are doing it for. Like, you know,
doing it for the gram, flexing.
They're always, but I mean, are you a bad parent if you don't take pictures? Like, I don't understand.
No, you can take pictures. Like,
no, I'm just saying, are you a bad parent if you don't?
No, I don't think you are. I think it kind of...
Like, if you don't put your baby down on that mat and, like, you know...
I don't think that makes you a bad parent. I feel like it like, you don't... I know a lot of even celebrities that don't, like, share all that shit.
Gabrielle
like,
Union, did you see her outfit?
That was so cute.
To Bring It On?
Well, yeah. I mean, like, she's got a toddler, so it's like you put her in, like, a little, like, little cheerleading outfit. And, well, yeah, and, like, I wonder if that was, like, her OG Clover's uniform.
Probably not.
I wonder. But yeah, no, that was cute.
Yeah.
Because like whatever, like she's an actual. I feel like if they're an actual
Sierra
baby,
and what's his name?
Okay, Sierra and Russell Wilson dressed up as Bay and Jay from like the Ape Shit video.
Yeah.
And I was here for it. I was like, that's smart. That's
smart. What are they gonna be next year? I don't know. They're probably already thinking about it, but I
mean, yeah, when you're rich and you like have big parties and stuff like that, like you can do all the crazy costumes, and you can have like a makeup person come and do your makeup and your hair and all that jazz.
That's what I'm saying. That's not cool.
That's cool if you're like running in that same circle.
I guess, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like celebrities that get like other people like to
Gabrielle Union's like coming to like our parties. Like, I mean like, damn.
Damn, we are cool. Gabrielle Union just showed up. But yeah, so that was kind of like our Halloween discussion, you know. We got a lot of different thoughts on it. I like Halloween. I don't like putting too much effort into it.
I feel like this year I wasn't vibing with Halloween. Like I made my costume like literally like 2 hours before I went to my party, and then I'm using it again. I'm like only using one costume. Last year I did 2. I'm using it again for the party that I have this weekend.
You know what's weird is like I use the things I hate about Halloween now are like the things I like about Christmas now. And let me explain.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I feel like, you know, people are putting so much effort into Halloween. Like I used to feel like I had to put into Christmas, you know, the pressure of getting someone a gift. Like you're like, you maybe don't have the money, or like, you know, when do you go get it? Like, you know, now it's expensive. Like I got a week left. I got to wrap it. You know, all this different stuff that you're like, it like gets me like, anxious, like, you know what I'm saying, about the whole holiday. And nowadays, you know, what I said I hated about Halloween being so like convenient where you can just order things on Amazon, that's what it makes Christmas easier for me. It's like now I can just be like, give me your list of things that you've wanted over the year. I'll pick one and it gets sent to your house, and now I can just enjoy Christmas with my family. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I kind of like that's my only thing I don't like about Halloween, is that it's like become like this, like, you know, if I don't like work on it like 2 weeks ahead of time, I'm like rushing to figure something out like at the last second and stuff, and it takes like kind of like the whole fun out of it.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like I work best under like that kind of pressure, but I mean, because I am someone who like can't fully half-ass Halloween. Like I just can't. It's like not part of who I am. But yeah, I definitely feel like this year I was just like meh, not as into it as I usually am, and I don't know if it's just like maybe it like snuck up on me more, or I've just been like dealing with a whole bunch of other stuff that like made it like not as, I feel like for me I'm like fuck, this year is like flying by and it's like freaking me out. And it's like maybe like for me Halloween I was like fuck, no, slow down, it's not, no.
Yeah. Also, like, I can't stand the people that know exactly what they're gonna be every year for Halloween.
I used to be that way as a kid.
Just like bothers me.
I used to like.
They're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be this. It's like.
I used to plan my.
How do you be so sure?
I used to plan my costume as like a kid when I was like in July. But I also used to plan my.
Loser.
I used to plan my Christmas list in July as well.
Well, that's probably the opposite of how I felt. But with that being said, why don't we talk about our slapper of the week? Slapper. What do you think about our slapper of the week this week?
I'm a fan. So you know, Selena came out with Lose You to Love Me, and then right after that she came out with the song that we're about to be playing for our slapper. And you know what? She's like back on the scene. That's funny because her old band used to be Selena Gomez on the scene. But she's back on the scene, and obviously she has some deal with iPhone because both of these videos were shot on an iPhone. But they're
just like our podcast.
Just like us when you're watching us on the tube, the U of the
Not
tube.
an ad. But I mean, that's the thing. Like,
but
you know,
this is a fun bop. Like
iPhones are putting DSLR cameras like out of business. I
know.
feel like.
Or
I
like,
mean,
or even like Google Pixels. Like most smartphones.
how can you afford one of those cameras if you're already like paying the same amount for the phone?
Yeah, I know.
And that has like the crazy cameras on it now. You know.
Crazy.
What else do you really need? Like that, yeah, 4K, you know, 3D, Oculus, whatever, like you got going on. But
aperture.
Yeah, all that stuff. But a normal person doesn't need. And honestly, nowadays, I feel like people don't like this overly produced stuff as much. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I like to watch stuff that's like shot off an iPhone and it's like, you know, really well put together, like even just like, you know, from you holding it or whatever. Like,
yeah, it kind of depends on what I'm looking to watch or see. But
yeah, but you know, I think that's interesting. So when I saw this video and this song, I mean, it dropped like as an ad, I think, but also it was just a good ass song. It's just good. I mean, I've been listening all weekend. It's been like my party, like pump up.
It's like she kind of like, you know, she did like a smart move where she like, you know, released the ballad and then released a bop, a ballad and a bop, if you will. And I feel like those are perfect because like you get both sides of, you know, what she can do and like what.
Well, also like her situation. It's actually both of them are kind of related to each other. It's like part one, part two.
Yeah, like
it's like I was sad, I made it, and now it's like look at me now.
And I'm like, fuck yeah. So without further ado.
Yeah, without further ado, why don't we just get into our slapper of the week? Our slapper of the week is "Look at Her Now" by Selena Gomez. Let's go.
Slapper of the week. This song slaps.
Slapper.
A little too. Look at her now.
Yeah, slapper of the week. "Look at Her Now" by Selena Gomez. Look at her now. I love that song. It gets me so hyped.
I know, like you were like he was like breaking it down. He was like doing some like pop lock and dropping it. He was like doing a little bit of isolation. So I was like, oh.
I don't even notice you were looking at me. I was so in the zone.
I'm always watching.
Always watching. All right, V, what do you got for shout outs this week?
All right, I've got a bunch.
Oh shoot.
So Scorpio season has started.
Yes, it has. It starts with me.
Oh god. I mean, no, it started earlier than you. So.
Well, okay.
So
well, it's my show. It starts here.
Okay.
Here we go.
It's our show.
Okay, yeah, I forgot.
Anyways. Typical Scorpio response. Anyway, so I I wanted to shout out some of my Scorpios before I get to Psy. I even put on here early one for Psy, but now I'm taking it back.
All right, cool. Because you'll do it next week.
Next week we'll do it again. So happy almost birthday, Psy.
Okay.
So I wanted to shout out my friends Harrison, Kavita, Chelsea, and Garrett, who all had birthdays like back to back this week. And then I wanted to shout out my friend Rachel Chu for her hosting a pumpkin day and like just bringing all these fun ladies together. So much fun. Then I wanted to shout out just my entire group text of my Mizzou friends. They know who they are.
You did that pretty fast for as many as you had.
I know, I'm efficient.
Well, I have two. One of them is actually I wanted to shout out my friend Lacey. She got the first impression rose this weekend.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh la la.
It was just a joke.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying. But shut up, V. And then I wanted to shout out my friend Tara from work. She got my last sticker. Apparently, we both gave out our last stickers this last week. So it's time to get some more. I swear I'm getting them in the next week. So I had one last sticker, and she actually like came up and she was asking me about the podcast and all that stuff. So I told her, I'm like, well, here's a sticker, and I'm gonna shout you out the next episode. You gotta check it out and stuff.
And here we are fulfilling your promise.
Yeah. So
what a guy.
Well, here I go tomorrow. I have to wake up very early for my flight to San Diego to go see my friend Sterling. I'm like,
and
actually
for your little like B-Day trip.
Well, yeah, and it's my B-Day weekend trip. So that's my plane.
Whoa, fuck!
San
You gotta
Diego.
catch that shit.
It's actually in a couple hours, so I gotta get going. But tomorrow's Halloween.
When you're listening to this podcast,
it's Halloween.
You'll be on the plane,
and it will be Halloween. And so I have to figure out in a couple hours once I get to San Diego what I'm gonna be for Halloween on the West Coast, because I haven't really thought of that yet. I might just bring my glasses and do the whole nerd
easy peasy
thing, but I don't want to be a nerd in San Diego. I already know like my issue. I just told you guys I like to look good. So
but people like it. I feel like Halloween isn't the time to like worry about looking good.
Dude, you worry about your own Halloween experiences. I'm gonna worry about mine.
I'm out here like in thigh high boots.
I'm just saying, you have a boyfriend. I'm like out here trying to find a girl.
But girls like humor. Girls like
I can be funny. I need to look good. It's San Diego. I'm not spending money over there to look like shit. That's all.
You're
I'm
not
saying.
gonna look like shit as a nerd. Girls
Whatever.
are into nerds.
I'll do my thing out there.
Think about how many girls would be like, "Ooh, nerdy guys are my fave."
No, I don't think that's how it's gonna work for me. But we'll figure it out. Anyways, so yeah, that'll be happening. Next week is my birthday, so we'll be celebrating.
Yeah. Episode 85.
It would have been amazing if it was 87, though.
Oh, I know, but like at least it's still like kind of like a nice like even number, like I know,
but.
It could.
It could. Honestly, it's weird because I feel like our episodes usually land on weird things like that.
Yeah.
But
like milestones.
Right. So
1985. That's next week.
Yeah.
The preview.
You better write that down because I don't want to forget.
I already did.
All right, I knew you did. Guys, if you haven't already, tell a friend about our show. Check us out on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts or watch things. Just Google us. And if you do, make sure you subscribe, rate, and review. Like, seriously, if you are listening right now and you haven't subscribed, written a review, or give us a rating,
like it helps us.
Yeah, seriously,
help
do
us.
so. Like we haven't started asking for money yet, which I mean, it's not beneath us, but that's the best way you could support us at the moment, because we have big things in the works, and we just need your guys' support.
We need you guys to help us. If you rate and review, we get put up more. People will see us more.
Right. So do that. Regardless, we'll see you next week with episode 85. This has been Future Bachelor. My name is Sai.
I'm Veronica.
And we love you. We'll see you next week. All right. Happy Halloween. Deuces.
Ooh, bye.
Future Bachelor Podcast.